Welcome back to the KSSR space program. It's finally time. We are gonna go and we're gonna plant the flag on the moon. Yep, it's time. Let's see if we can get any more of these contracts that are gonna be relevant for this. Now, the way we're gonna do this, we're not really gonna have the option for too much of a precision landing. We're going to do a lunar orbit rendezvous mission. And that's not going to really let us do a precision landing on any of the Easter eggs or anything like that. So we're going to forget about those for right now. Weren't able to get any extra contracts. Let's see what we got. We got Minmus. Alright. Yeah, nothing that was going to let us get signs from the surface of the moon, but that's fine. So for this, what we're going to have to do, because of the way this mission is built, and you'll understand when you see it fully assembled and all that, we have to build a lander before we build our return capsule and everything. So this is I'm gonna have to build this lander separate, and then I'm gonna save it off as a sub-assembly. So strap in. This one's gonna be kind of a weird build. All right, so you just saw we have our lander built and assembled. Now we have to build our return ship. And the mission profile that the KSSR is going to use is a bit different than how, like, you might be familiar with, like, say, that other lunar landing mission from the other side of the planet, how that worked. So how I'm going to be constructing this is not an error, it's just different. Alright, so this is going to be our return ship, which is going to bring us home from orbit around the moon. And now it is time to construct the rest of our mission here. So this one, again, is going to be a little interesting. Okay, this is, without question, the biggest, chunkiest rocket we have built. So, presuming this all works according to plan, and I'm not entirely sure that it will, this is going to be our trans stage going to the moon. We may have to add another stage here. We'll find out. This will be our trans stage going to the moon. This will be some of our retro burn. This will be the rest of our retro burn. And what's left of it will be the descent stage for the lander. And this will just remain on its own up in orbit around the moon. So we got to set up our crew. We're going to need 2 pilots. We're going to do Val and Jeb. And I guess we'll send Bob just for good measure. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this ridiculous thing is going to work. Now, this, of course, being based off of the N1 rocket, which was launched, I think, like 4 or 5 times. It had some problems, mainly relating to this cluster of engines down here and the associated plumbing, and it exploded each time at different points, and one of them was like the largest non-nuclear man-made explosion in recorded history. So kind of an interesting little footnote to this guy. Anyway, we're going to send this up on its way, and we're going to Kraken Insurance and hope for the best. Uh-oh. 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 All right. Already found some minor structural issues. We're going to have to double check our auto strutting. Kind of important. Some of these joints can definitely be a little rough. And for good measure, oh yeah, check that out. Check that out. How you like that? Yeah, there's a pro move. Okay. Now, let's try that again with that slightly enhanced strutting. Did I mention that that the real-life version of this kind of blew up a few times and had some, like structural mechanical problems right after launch? At least we're true to form. Alright, it looks like my concerns about some of the Delta V issues were really nothing to worry about. Yeah, this is going to be strange, but we'll see what happens when we get there. I'm used to the... I don't think I still have this tuned for, like, 1/4 scale or anything like that, RSS. Usually the second stage of the N1 isn't quite as good, although in fairness I am using some slightly different engines than is normally done. I opted for more thrust. Alright, now here's something number one. Yeah, we're orbiting the wrong way, so we gotta fix that. We gotta fix that right away. Okay, so we're doing relatively good. And like I mentioned, I kind of alluded earlier, I did leave out another trans stage here. And really that's just for... It was just for safety margin. And we're doing relatively good. So this is normally the stage that would be on its way to the moon. So we're a little ahead of the curve. And it's better to be ahead of the curve than behind it. So we're going to get ourselves into a fairly low orbit. Because coming back up from the moon, you know, we don't exactly have an infinite amount of Delta V in that lander. Rotate this bad boy around. Okay, so here, the way that the mission is intended to work, and would have worked originally, is our Kerbal, our crew member, Jebediah in this case, is going to do a spacewalk. To get himself into the capsule. And this is, again, this is as intended. This was the plan for the original mission. There was no, you know, purely as like a weight-saving maneuver, or weight-saving measure. There was no, like, transit in between the capsule and the lander through any sort of a tube through the docking port. There was none of that. And what's more, this docking port was fairly primitive. It's not, you can't really see it, but it was fairly primitive in that it just had like a bunch of little grabber arms, and on the top of here was like a lattice structure, and it would just grab itself into the lattice. The idea being to secure itself to the lander rather than do, you know, like a docking maneuver that could be used to transfer crew. So what we're going to do now is get ourselves over onto the far side and prepare for separation and descent. Okay. Now, in this point again, we're a stage ahead. And at this point, I'm gonna jettison this stage just for simplicity's sake to demonstrate, if nothing else. This would be the descent package. What you're looking at here is what would actually be going down to the moon's surface. So we're gonna keep it authentic for this mission. Kind of authentic. All right, gonna get a little bit further into the daylight. Oh, and you know what? I think we can reclassify this as a lander. Oh, you know what? We didn't Siri 1, I think that's how you say it. That'll be our mission name. Alright, so now we have to descend down. Alright, Kraken Insurance, here we go. We're going down for the final descent. Looks like we're coming down on the side of a mountain, which I don't want. So we're going to correct a little bit. That's one of the advantages of having kind of overbuilt things a little. We can sort of try and aim to land down here in that little gully. And we're down. How about that? To get everything deployed. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's start getting some science done. Crew report. We made it. All right, let's start grabbing some of the science. Whoop. Now, moving around out here can be a little weird. All right, I think that's everything. Did we? Yes. Oh, and we need to, before anything else, we need to get an EVA report from the moon's midlands, and we need to get a big old surface sample. Waiting for all that to go back in. Okay. So we have loaded up our capsule with all these goodies. Now it is time to actually plant the flag. Here, the KSSR took its first steps upon the moon. A little anticlimactic, but that's fine. Man, how about that? Outstanding. All right, so now we actually have to get back to our return ship. And again, this I made this look kind of easy, but that's mostly because I've done this particular mission dozens of times. And we overbuilt our M1 moon rocket quite a bit. Like I said, enormous margin for safety. And you're going to see the next mission we launch going to the moon is going to be a little different. All right. So now it's going to be time to take back off and rendezvous with our capsule up above. Here we go. And this is kind of the moment of truth where we find out if we actually have enough Delta V and everything. We should be fine. We should be fine. Famous last words, though. Yeah, we're good. All right, now we'll just adjust for our rendezvous a little bit. All right, we can do the docking and everything from here. And we're going to save, get some good Kraken insurance going. Nice. Nice. Okay. We can breathe again. All right, so now Jeb gets out, grabs all of that science, all that juicy, juicy science, grabs an EVA report while he's flying around out here in space, goes back, puts the science in the descent module, and gets in. That is how we do it. All right, now we undock this. We've got a... There we go. All right, so now it's just going to be a matter of getting back to Kerbin, and we are actually in a pretty good position to do that. So we're going to save. Whoop, got to spin around the other way. Leave our poor little orbiter down there. Okay, now literally we just sit back and enjoy the ride as we fly back to Kerbin with all of our science and our samples and everything else. All right, now it's time to jettison all of our stuff. Oh. There we go. Kraken Insurance. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit of a rough re-entry, but we should have more than enough ablator on our heat shield to come back. Okay, look at all that science. And you guys saw it. We totally got there first. The KSSR successfully landed Jebediah Kerman on the moon, grabbed the EVA report and the surface sample, and got him safely back all the way to Kerbin. So, big deal. We totally did it. That's the story, and we're sticking to it. So, make sure you check out the next episode to find out what's next for the KSSR space program.